Hey. Um, Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me check and make sure that the volume's good here. First time I've had music on a stream. So I don't know how good or how bad this sounds. Let's see. Oh shoot, I forgot to turn on the light. I'm dumb. There we go. Gotta close the door there too. All right, it's not too bad. Just gotta turn it down a bit. So yeah, we have a lot to get through today. Hold on, I gotta move stuff over. I have my bourbon whiskey. No, just kidding. It's just water. And I also have some of this stuff, which I've actually never had before until today. I've had a bit of it, and it's not bad. It's Canada Dry. Sorry, I'm off of focus. It's Canada Dry Blackberry Ginger Ale. Let's see. So I have a lot. Let me make sure that I get everything set up here. By the way, the music in the background, I don't know if I'm gonna keep using this or not, but this is just like some music that my brother made. It sounds really nice. That's half of the reason why I'm using it. The other half is I want him to get paid. Nobody listens to his music. I don't know why. Because it's actually pretty good. He goes by the name Digital Cities. Sorry. Excuse me. He goes by the name Digital Cities when he makes music. And his stuff is pretty good. The song that just played was 1972. And this one is a song called Speed. So I hope you guys enjoy that music. It's very chill. It's actually perfect for the stream, I think. As we get ready to get things underway here. Just give me one moment to get everything set up. But I hope you guys have had a good Thanksgiving. Let me see. I should probably turn down the music. But yeah, I hope you guys have had a good Thanksgiving. I had a nice Thanksgiving. We didn't do too much, unfortunately. Actually, it's pretty crazy. So we were supposed to do a whole family thing because a lot of times it's Thanksgiving, man. People use Thanksgiving as an excuse to go see family. Even if they don't like the family, it serves as like a point in time where family could pressure other family members to actually go do family things with them. Alas, this was not the case. So what happened was my brother, actually the one who made the music that was playing earlier, who makes the stream music for my streams, he came down with something. It was most likely the flu. But anyways, he came down with something, and it spooked everyone. He didn't have a negative COVID test until the day before we came down here. And so basically we got disinvited from the whole family function, which was unfortunate. Oh man, I forgot to turn the stream audio on, which was unfortunate. So we've just been chilling here. I was hoping to maybe do a video chat with people, but I forgot to reach out and tell people to do video chats. But we just did stuff at home. We went out. Went to the park and played catch. That sort of thing. That was fun. That was a good time. And of course we ate a lot. But this is definitely the least amount of food that I've eaten for Thanksgiving ever. Now granted, I came back so we had lunch, right? Which is the normal big Thanksgiving Day meal. Then for dinner, most of us just ate dessert. And then I came back and just got myself a whole new plate of food. So basically I had 3 meals in the span of which time most people get 2 meals. So I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm supposed to be gluttonous, but I just really couldn't get myself, in the gluttonous mood. Don't know exactly what would cause that there. So yeah. Also, let's see, what else happened. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything else. No, running out of things for story time, I suppose. So let's get into the memes and let's get into the news, because there's a lot here, guys. A whole lot of things to get to. There were so many things I meant to get to in my last non-newbie live stream that I just wasn't able to tackle. And a bunch of them are memes, so I'm gonna go through some of the memes here. I'm mixing in like the memes and the news because there's just a lot. There's so much going on. And I enjoy both. I feel like just reacting to interesting stuff is what's gonna make for like the most interesting streams. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
Why is levitating?
This is a. Oh, by the way, I muted it on accident. But by the way, this is a the video by, who's it by? Song Psych, I guess, called "Why is Levitating" by Dua Lipa so good?
Why is Levitating by Dua Lipa so good?
You want me, I want you, baby.
It's what happens when you make lots of money. You can get signed to a label. That's what happens.
Is Levitating by Dua Lipa so good?
You want me, I want you, baby.
The song is a certified
One reason is
bop.
that the bass line uses a technique called octave jumping. This is when you play a note on the bass and then quickly follow it with the same note but at a higher pitch.
If you're feeling like you need a little bit of
Okay.
An octave is pretty much the most consonant interval in Western music, which basically means it sounds really good.
Dude, I
music
did
is
not
just
know
air
this.
wiggling at different speeds. And what's cool about the
True.
octave is that this note wiggles at exactly twice the speed of this note.
Dude, that's probably because of the same note though. Like, I feel like that's probably like the science behind that.
This makes the ratio between these notes 2 to 1. And the simpler the ratio is between two notes in music, the more satisfying the harmony will sound. The bassline's octave jumping technique adds a more complex rhythm and satisfying melody to the song. Pretty cool.
That's interesting. Hold on, I didn't mean to play the next meme, but that's interesting because I'd assumed that the reasoning behind that was a lot of it's like musical production. Like if you get the right sounding drums, the right sounding like I guess bass VSTs, you can make like a really, really like compelling and nice sounding song. Like if you listen to a lot of modern rap beats, they all sound the same. Like you have like, your normal 808s, and you have your drums, and then you have either like a flute or guitar. Guitar is like kind of like this decade. Flute was kind of like last decade, but still, usually there's a formula, and that formula is usually like instruments. So it's nice that she picked out the what's harder to notice, which is like the musical notes. So very cool, very cool. Let's see. Now, I should probably preface this video. This is a video by a friend of mine. He's my favorite Armenian. He'd be the first to tell you that. No, second, because I would be the first to tell you that. My guy, Jake Silver. We go to the same college, and he made this short video. I can't remember if I've seen it yet or not. But this is scene 2, dorm life from a real POV.
If you'd like a quick update on
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, sorry. I'm not gonna say anything about how
like a
messy
quick
that is.
update on my life. I got my trash ready to be taken out.
Good.
I've got clean towel, dirty towel,
Props for having them separated.
drawers, fly swat, dinner somewhere around. Oh, here it is. Got some dinner.
Dude, wait, is that old? Okay, I hope that's that old.
I
Let's
got
see.
a new clothing rack right here. Very convenient, I would definitely say.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And then my desk.
then
There's a whole bed. And it's my clean laundry. It's my dirty. Yeah, I shouldn't be.
Okay, one quick question I have is I don't know why he isn't putting a lot of stuff under the bed. Like that's what I do in my room, and it makes it look like so much cleaner, even though everything is still technically a mess.
Showing you all this. That's my roommate. That's Matt.
Wait, I was not ready for that.
It's my dirty.
Dude looks like he's in a certifiable state
Yeah,
of
I
depression
shouldn't
right
be
there.
showing
Hold
you
up.
all this. That's my roommate. That's Matt.
Is he just like squatting there, just like doing like nothing? Like what's happening?
That's That's my roommate.
What is this?
That's Matt.
What is this?
He's had these cheese curds in here for over a week.
Oh.
Matt,
They've been in the refrigerator.
I don't care.
Okay,
Can't
doesn't look
even
too bad.
identify.
That looks like something that'd be pumped with enough preservatives to be good for a
What
while.
they're supposed to look like anymore.
What do you mean? They're not changing shape.
Matt, what is this?
Okay, that's bad. Throw that away. Throw that away.
That's from Matt's road trip last week, in case you were wondering.
Dude, throw that away.
This is my refrigerated ice cream.
Okay,
It's ice cream soup.
no.
But in case you're wondering,
That's good. That's good. I love you too, man. You're a cool
Yes.
guy.
Oh shoot, I'm out of
Dude,
forks in both of my.
Also,
Matt,
Jake
you
Silver,
haven't-
if you're seeing this, like, dude, hit me up. I haven't seen you in a bit.
Oh shoot, I'm out of forks in both of my. Matt, do you have any forks? Anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know that I am doing well.
That's
I
good.
am thriving out here in college. And,
You know, that spelling isn't thriving.
and I do appreciate all of my friends from home checking in on me. I miss you guys. I love you a lot. Ooh, fork from Matt. Now I can eat dinner.
It's
Later,
awesome.
pals.
Nice. That has a whole plot, dude. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. There are a few things I would do differently, but you know, I would have the same level of well, it's pretty organized. I think I'm a bit more disorganized, but I hide the stuff well when I have time, except for all of the clothes that I have everywhere usually, which I actually have a bit of hold on. I actually have a bit of clothes, like, hold on, let me see. Shoot. That's not what I meant to do. No, I actually have a bit of clothes lying around right now. If you want to look at my setup, I feel kind of guilty for this. I feel kind of guilty for this. I'm glad I have the wide angle lens on my camera so that I can show you guys this. Here, I think I'll upload this to Google Photos and try and load it. I don't know how long it takes to sync stuff up. No, it's 100. It's 100 pictures behind. So I'm just gonna show you guys, you know, in the jankiest possible way. There we go. Okay, dude, look at this. I have. Look at this. I have clothes on the floor. It's hard for me to get a good angle on this. I have clothes on the floor right here. Clothes on my bed. And I haven't unpacked anything. Part of it is I've realized, like, I'm terrible at packing and terrible at unpacking. And I'm just not really gonna, you know, want to pack until the last minute. So what I'm trying to do actually is leave my stuff as unpacked as possible. So that way it'll be easier for me to get ready to leave. Oh, by the way, I also have that TV there showing the, you know, me monitoring the stream and stuff. So yeah, I have clothes like everywhere, but you know, there are things that I should probably technically be taking care of, like that the suitcase full of stuff and whatever. But other than clothes, I you know, I find ways to hide things. It's generally how generally how I do it. Maybe that's not the best. Maybe that's not what I should do. But I am doing my best. So there's that. All right. Next up, we have this clip. It's kind of humorous. Well, and I don't know if it's humorous or not. I mean, look at that title, bro. Like, I just want to watch this. Let's
The
watch
holiday
this.
rush comes amid a surge in gas prices, now at their highest level in 7 years, with the national average cost of a gallon of gas at $3.40. The highest prices in the Northeast and West, all of it leaving drivers frustrated.
It almost makes me feel like I've got to go to the bank and take out a loan to pay for my gas.
They are really high, you know, and what can we do?
That's funny. And then the clip of Biden right over there. I heard someone make a joke that, like, if someone won the lottery, I forget who said it, but if someone won the lottery, the first thing they would do is pay for gas, which is, you know, that's actually really advisable. I would highly recommend spending all of your lottery money on gas and then spending all of your income on the taxes for your lottery. No, but one thing I'm really curious about, and I'm not gonna Google this because it'll take way too much time. I don't think I have time for this in just one video, but I really wonder who is responsible for this energy crisis. Like, is this all Trump's? I mean, is this all Biden's fault or not? Because the economy's in shambles, and that in part is due to governments overreacting with a lot of how they've been, responding to this current medical situation. But at the end of the day, oil prices, like, specifically, I don't like making accusations without having proof. And that's why I'm really hesitant to blame Biden, like, for everything. Dude tapped into the oil reserve. Now, I will say this. He has contributed to the continued crisis that we have, like the continuing crisis, because what was it that he did? He killed some what was it? There were some permits that people were trying to make new pipelines. He killed those. He also got rid of the Keystone XL pipeline. So those things didn't help, but things are worse now, like way worse now. Like he said, in 7 years, right? Things are way worse now than they have been before we had the Keystone pipeline, before we had all those things that Joe Biden canceled. So I'm really, I'm a Republican, but I'm a little bit hesitant to blame Joe Biden for everything. I'd love to see, if you guys want to leave comments down below, I'd love to hear what you guys think is the cause for the energy crisis. It's really easy to just say, oh, it's just the president, but you have to take into account that the president doesn't control literally everything. It's just something to take into account. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's the change in the fact that this current situation is terrible. I heard that when Biden opened up the oil reserves, the type of oil that it is, American refineries aren't even going to even want to process it. So all that oil that's being like taken out of those refineries, that's all being sent to like China and India, and I think it's India or Japan or another country that's not China. It's being sent over there to country not America to get refined and then hopefully get sent back here. We'll see. I think it probably will. I don't know, man. They just open up Keystone XL pipeline or turn it into like an emergency pipeline, because this is an emergency situation, and the oil that we'll get from the Keystone is going to be way cleaner than the oil that we get from the refineries, or like the backup whatever. So that's my take on it. Now we have this clip here from ABC News. This headline caught my eye. I'm really interested to see how they're going to spin this. This isn't even Australia, is it? Where like people are like committing suicide by the droves because of the psychological toll that isolation just takes up on you. Yeah, no, I don't even know if this is. I don't even know where this is covering, but I guess I'll talk about it. It's called By the Numbers, Children's Mental Health in Pandemic by ABC News.
Now some good news to report about the mental health of American children. Our partners.
Oh, this is good news. Dude, I didn't even know there was good news.
In Ipsos conducted a poll to see how children are doing.
Okay, this is news to me. I didn't.
Children. Our partners.
Okay, hold on.
Now some good news to report about the mental health of American children. Now some good news to report about the mental health of American children. Our partners at 538 and Ipsos conducted a poll to see how children are doing nearly 2 years into this pandemic, and they found, to their surprise, that most kids are doing just fine.
Hold up. So that means that they knew that kids would be struggling from this? Dude, absolute scumbags we have running the government.
By the numbers, 89% of teenagers aged 12 to 17 said that their mental health was very good or somewhat good, while just 8% said their mental health was very poor or somewhat poor. In fact, more parents, 10%, reported poorer mental health than teens. 80%
That's
of
not
teens
shocking.
said that they are only a little concerned or not at all concerned about their mental health, with 17% saying they are concerned or very concerned about it. And again, parents were more concerned about their children's
Wait a
mental
minute. Hold on. I want to see the source of this poll. There's also the comments. I'm concerned about these ABC anchors' mental health, anti-American narratives. But, dude, this is actually... You're asking... Okay, hold on.
mental health than the kids were. 96% of kids between the ages of 5 to 11 said that they feel very or somewhat good right now, which is certainly nice to hear. Another finding was that 30% of teens said their relationship with their parents has improved during COVID, compared to just 7% who said that it had worsened. But many have lost connection with their peers. 29% of teens said that...
Really? Really? Who knew that isolating people from each other would make them feel more isolated?
their friendships and social lives have worsened during COVID.
Also,
but
hold on.
peers,
Wait a minute.
29% of teens said that
She said 9% of
their
teens
friendships and social lives have worsened during COVID.
said their social lives and friendships have worsened. So how does that have no impact on your mental health? I don't understand.
But 27% said those relationships have improved.
Well, that's true, because if you are isolated, but you still have access to the internet and stuff, and you can, connect with people through the internet, a combination of like intentionality with actually like reaching out to people and, them reciprocating that, I think shows even stronger than in person how much you care about each other, because then you guys are like making the effort to connect when there's that barrier of you guys can't meet in person. But there's a big hole in this, and I want to look this up, because there are two things that I want to know about this, right? One thing is this is all self-reported, and I think when you're assessing like your own mental health, especially in like a very like, I don't know, that seems very like, I don't know. It doesn't really leave in a lot of wiggle room. You're asking really simple and basic questions. I would rather look at what has happened to the rate of suicides, what has happened to the the rate of people like clocking into therapy, getting suspended from school. And another thing too is like the sample size. What's the sample size? So I'm gonna look this up. What is it? Ipsos 538 mental health poll. Because honestly, it's really hard for me to believe that mental health is improving right now, considering everything that these governments are forcing, and institutions are forcing children to go through. Let's see. Let's see. This is all. They didn't even. Why did they like? They didn't say anything about what they're actually finding in the first two things. Surveyed 689 kids. So that's about like, I don't know, 1,100, maybe 1,200, and 1,500. So that's kind of a small study. That's interesting. It's not small enough for me to discount. Maybe I shouldn't be so pessimistic. It just doesn't make logical sense to me. But another thing too, I don't know. This is just hard for me to buy, because it just, to me, it doesn't really make any sense. Like, you're telling me that like you're isolating people, you're also like stoking division, about different views, where these are kids. A lot of these kids are in public school systems where parents are like literally like getting arrested because they're at school board meetings. You couldn't really. If I was a kid and my parent was arrested, that would not be easy on my mental health. It's just hard. I don't know. This is just hard for me to buy. I mean, yes, the study exists. I don't know. But then again, there's nothing there for me to like disprove except that it doesn't make sense to me. You know, because I could just be dead wrong, and I hope I am. But it just does not sound right. It smells of fake news to me. All right. Now let's get to this one. This clip right here is very, very controversial. It's from SNL. They now I'm pro-life, okay, and many in the pro-life community have, you know, gotten really, really upset and up in arms about this skit because they said it was making fun of abortion. I've only seen clips of this, but I haven't seen the whole thing. So I'm really interested in taking a look at this. Let's see. This weekend update: Goober the Clown on abortion.
The Supreme Court heard arguments this week in Women's Whole Health v. Texas about the controversial Texas law that essentially bans all abortions after just 6 weeks. Here to cheer us.
Oh, after just 6 weeks. They need to give people more time to kill their kid.
Up, well, this can't be right. Goober the Clown, who had an abortion when she was 23.
I'm Goober the Clown.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So,
I don't.
Goober, you had an abortion when you were 23?
Hey, whoa, slow down. I'm a clown. Let's clown around. Hey, smell this flower.
You're not going to squirt me, are you?
Wait.
I would never.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. I had an abortion the day before my 23rd birthday.
Okay.
What is this? What the heck is this?
I really don't.
What am I
Keep
watching right
bringing it up,
now?
So I gotta keep talking about freaking abortion.
Dude, wait. Okay, just saying, in like the world of, like, you know, setting up interviews, you agreed to go on the show. Just saying, like, you know, if this was like a real like news thing, you're Goober the Clown. I feel like an absolute idiot for saying, let's say, for example, you were Goober the Clown, but I am. I'm also noticing like a little bit of humor as far as like where that flower's placed in what the flower's doing. But but let's say you're Goober the Clown, okay? And this weekend update's like a real news thing. You agree to go on there to talk about abortion. They're like, hey, yo, we're gonna bring up your abortion. And then she's like, well, people keep asking me to talk about abortion. Stop complaining. If you don't want to talk about your abortion, don't sign up to be interviewed about your abortion.
Okay. It seems like you do want to talk about your abortion.
Yes, it does, because you agreed to the interview.
But people keep bringing it up, so I gotta keep talking about freaking abortion. But it's a rough subject, so we're gonna do fun clown stuff to make it more palatable. Whee!
You think that's not gonna make abortion more palatable? Also, I will say this: SNL really shows a lot of like where mainstream, like the mainstream Democrat Party wants to go. A lot of the time, and it's interesting. They fear, if they feel like they need Goober the Clown to make abortion more appealing, I think that really shows that the tide is shifting in the culture and moving towards being more pro-life.
Hey, who wants a balloon animal? You want a giraffe? Jay? Who's Cecily? I'm Goober. And I wish I didn't have to do this, because the abortion I had at 23 is my personal clown business. But
what about like the 2-year-old that I buried and put in the backyard?
that's all some people in this country
I feel like that's like my own personal like Twitch streamer business or YouTube streamer business.
want to discuss all the time, even though clown abortion.
Also, by the way, I think I should point out that I've never killed a 2-year-old. Just clearing that up.
But that's all some people in this country want to discuss all the time, even though clown abortion was legalized.
Yeah, I think, you know, when there was like slavery, people for some reason were just talking about it all the time, and it was so annoying.
In this country want to discuss all the time, even though clown abortion was legalized in Clown v. Wade.
Yeah. These are the dumbest arguments in favor of. This is the dumbest argument in favor of like abortion, which is like it's legal. Like there are so many things that are legal, dude, that like people should not do, and there are also plenty of other things that are legal that should not be legal.
In 1973.
But see, this is nationalism, right? Like people don't understand. Like nationalism isn't just for the left. Like a lot of times, you know, it's easy to be a nationalist when your party's in control, And this is nationalism. Nationalism is like, hey, the government said it's fine, so it must be okay. No! Dude, think for yourselves, bro.
Here.
Can you stop saying clown abortion? What is this?
I don't know. It's a worm. I don't know. Hey, hey.
What
did
a
you know
talented
1 in 3
clown.
Clowns will have a clown abortion in her lifetime? You don't,
That's
because they
scary.
don't tell you. They don't even know how to talk to other clowns about it. Because when they do talk about it, if you were a clown who wasn't the victim of something sad like clown cess, they think your clown abortion wasn't a righteous clown abortion. I mean, what the dick is that?
What?
I don't think you can say that word on the show.
What, abortion?
Well, I guess kind of.
You know, it's funny, Colin. We're having fun. Just laugh. Hey, pull my finger.
No.
Laugh.
Also, I'm sorry. I'm kind of holding my tongue. I'm not gonna like make a bunch of like pro-life arguments because that's not what this is about. I'm pro-life, but that's not, you know, this is a point where I would make points about that, but I'm just here to critique the clip. So.
I need you to laugh so hard, like the way I laugh.
Ha! There you go.
When the doctor asked if I got pregnant on the way over to the clinic, so I wasn't very far along. And that is one of my favorite jokes to this day. I love that joke. It's such a good joke. Not like a funny ha-ha joke, but like a funny you're not an awful person and your life isn't over now joke. The best kind. A honka honka. Good Lord.
I think this lady is proof that this lady and half of TikTok has proved that we need to bring back mental asylums.
Good horn.
No, actually, I'm being facetious. I'm so pro-life that I'm not a fan of torture and just like locking people up and putting them in like dark white rooms and sticking them in with like straight jackets and stuff. But
I'm not a clown. And in the waiting room, they had a little guest book where all the clowns could write their clown abortion story for the next clown to read it, so she wouldn't feel so alone.
oh yeah, like yeah, people.
Ooga! And then years later, you'll be at a dinner with a big group of clowns, and one clown will go out on a limb and say she's had an abortion, and then like 8 other clowns at the table say they've had an abortion too, because that's how common it is. And then everyone's excited and relieved to be talking about it. Then it's like, wow, we kept this secret for so long, despite being so grateful it happened. Honka, honka, honka!
Grateful it happened, bro. Dude. I guess some people feel like that though. But.
Really women?
Excuse me?
What?
Wow, okay. Colin Jones thinks women are clowns. Cool. Let me do some helium.
That's funny though. That's funny.
Here's my truth.
I know I wouldn't be a clown on TV here today if it weren't for the abortion I had the day before my 23rd birthday.
Dude, if your abortion was like the make or break decision as to whether or not you're able to be a clown, I feel like you're really talentless. Which I think she puts on display here.
Clowns have been helping each other and their pregnancies since the caves. It's gonna happen, so it ought to be safe, legal, and accessible. We will not go back to the alley. I mean, the last thing anyone wants is a bunch of dead clowns in a dark alley.
Yeah, no, dead babies though.
Goober the clown, everyone.
Yeah, better disable comments on this one.
I think one thing like that SNL, and they're not the only ones, but SNL, they do this a lot, is they like totally forget that they're supposed to be funny. I think if SNL did comedy, their ratings would be better. I feel like that's just my take. But dude, this segment was so bad. The segment was trash. They had 3.5 minutes and one good joke. I have been funnier reacting to this video than they were, and they had a script and time to come up with jokes. What? SNL is so bad. I should not be funnier than SNL. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. But for the people who say this is like, you know, a mockery abortion, I don't know. It's hard for me to tell what exactly it is. It's so bad and confusing. Like, it does trivialize abortion, but it doesn't mock abortion specifically. It doesn't make any new points that haven't already been made. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's putting an everlasting gobstopper in a Jolly Rancher wrapper. Like, clowns aren't new. having people like out of character, like having wacky zany characters in Weekend Update isn't entirely new, and you know, making really bad pro-choice arguments isn't new either. But it's a weird mashup. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know if it's a mockery of abortion specifically, but it's just bad, man.
Hey, brother.
Okay, when I saw this, okay, hold on. Switching. It's totally switching gears. You know, when you're watching my streams, I go from like, you know, one thing to another. But this clip right here, as soon as I saw the title for this, I knew I had to watch this on stream. The man claims cops will never catch him. Cops catch him. Check this.
Hey, brother. For pursuit southbound. Southbound 600, southbound.
Have you been having problems with your wife today?
Nothing new, but nothing major. Right here is where the crash occurred. Got out passenger side, went right over.
In the world, dude.
Where were you running?
What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Fine. Yeah. Somebody after you? Well, then why are you running?
Would you be okay if we searched the vehicle just to make sure?
That's a good question. That's a good question, dude.
I have nothing illegal in here.
Watching him running southwest.
You see there's a methamphetamine pipe right there on the seat.
Yo, dude, I never watched Cops before. I've seen Live PD, but if this show is anything like Live PD, dude, the cops that show up in shows like this are so dumb. It's kind of like hard for me to believe that they actually exist.
Hey, bro, come here real quick. Where are you coming from?
But I guess that's what drugs does to your brain. Like
methamphetamine pipe right there on the seat.
Did you guys find him?
Yes. Hey, bro, come here real quick. Where are you coming from?
He's been verbally and mentally harassing me.
There's a meth pipe in the vehicle.
He did run from you guys?
Yep. So what's your deal?
Not much, man. I was just trying to get my last day, but...
Whose pipe is it?
Mine. And he always says that he gets away from cops, that they never can catch him.
Are you willing to answer questions and make a statement?
What is there to talk about?
Methamphetamine is not the way to go.
Why'd you run?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I would argue, yeah, no, it's not. It's not. But that's just me. That's just me.
Statement.
What is there to talk about?
Methamphetamine is not the way to go.
Why'd you run, man?
You know what? They always take the woman's side no matter what.
I figured you were gonna run.
It's pointless, man.
Okay, that was clickbait. I wanted to see him like. I got the like the idea that like some criminal would be like, hey, yo, cops, you ain't catching me. And then, like, they chase him down and catch him in, like, 2 seconds. That's not what happened here. But, yo, that might have, like, methamphetamine is not the way to go. Wine has got to be, like, a certified hood classic. That should probably be said in the hood. Okay, here's it. This is, should be interesting. It's Charlie Sheen. How not to smoke a cigarette. I need to take notes from this.
I understand.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you went solo. You had fun with it, right?
I had more than fun. I had me with it.
Yeah, I like the way you go to Ustream and you see. Right when you go to Ustream.com.
Dude. Okay, that's honestly kind of savage. Like,
I understand.
Is this during his phase of mental breakdown though?
I had more than fun. I had me with it.
Dude's kind of funny. I don't know what happened to him, but someone needs to put him back on TV.
I had more than fun.
Because I watched his mental like breakdown videos that he made. I mean, he was like kind of going off the rails, but he was hilarious. Like, give this man a job again.
I'm glad you went solo. You had fun with it, right?
I had more than fun. I had me with it.
Yeah, I like the way you go to Ustream and you see. Right when you go to Ustream.com.
Dude. He should play the Joker in that new Batman series. Dude, Charlie Sheen as Charlie Sheen as Joker would be insane. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say. That's a short clip. Not too much to say about that, but okay. Now we're going to Cover Now stuff. Now, a lot of these videos, you have to remember, these are clips that I'd put on my docket like a week, 2 weeks ago. I hadn't gotten the chance to talk about on stream. So you know, some of these clips are gonna be very old. Some of this is gonna be speculation from before we got the verdicts. I don't know if I want to talk about the verdicts too much. You know, I don't know if I feel like it, but I'm gonna comment on these videos.
With your arms up in the air, he never fired, right?
Correct.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him, with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
Wow, I'm really surprised at the verdict.
Your Honor, I object!
And why is that, Mr. Reed?
Because it's devastating.
What? This is a bad meme, dude. Okay, Duelmator. Okay, subscribers, remind me to never watch another video by them again. That was terrible. Okay, here's another clip.
There have been numerous occasions during this. There have been.
Here's another clip. Oh, I remember this. There was a funny clip. I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, he is. I believe he is the person who was defending Rittenhouse. It's called "Don't Get Brazen with Me." Kyle Rittenhouse judge slams prosecutor. This should be fun.
There have been numerous occasions during this trial where they've opened the door. The one time when they're going into Mr. Rosenbaum's prior, the reason he doesn't like guns, and I said something. I whispered in Mr. Krause's ear, it's because of the prior convictions. Please stop. And he did. He knows if you're going to go into something that's been excluded in a pretrial order, you better ask the court, you better get permission.
So I didn't follow this all closely, but if you guys are watching, let me know. Is this something that did he like try to use evidence that wasn't checked before or something? I can't remember exactly what's happening here.
Ridiculous.
It wasn't excluded, Your Honor.
You know why it was excluded in the first place? Because
Dude, so he said it was excluded. Bro, you're lying.
It wasn't excluded, Your Honor.
You know why it was excluded in the first place?
It was excluded. You know why it was excluded? I guess that means it was excluded.
Ridiculous.
It wasn't excluded, Your Honor.
You know why it was excluded in the first place? Because it was propensity evidence. That is exactly what 90404 is designed to prevent.
Ah, yes, 90404.
His attitude is he wants to shoot people. Now, I've admitted that kind of evidence in other trials when it's been appropriate. I didn't admit it in this case because, to me, what I've heard in this trial, and by the way, Mr. Richards absolutely correctly points out that just hours ago, I said I had heard nothing in this trial to change any of my rulings. So why?
Testimony, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
That was before the defense testimony.
Don't get brazen with me.
Oh, dude.
Knew very well.
Here's the thing, dude. You can't. What he said doesn't counteract because he was the judge here. Excuse me. The judge here is like, yo, I have not seen a single thing that has made me think that Rittenhouse came there with the intent to shoot people in an attacking fashion. And then you have this, he's the prosecutor, I think, right? Saying, well, that was before you heard the testimony. Dude, he is including that in what he's saying, like, has not changed his mind. So stupid.
So why?
Testimony, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
That was before the defense testimony.
Don't get brazen with me. You knew very well. You know very well that an attorney can't go into these types of areas when the judge has already ruled without asking outside the presence of the jury to do so. So don't give me that. That's number one. Number two, this is propensity evidence. I said at the time that I made my ruling, and I'll repeat again now for you, I see no similarity between talking about wishing you had your AR gun, which you don't have, so that you could take rounds.
I guess he got it. I mean, because he pointed his gun at people in the crowd and put his finger on the trigger.
Fire rounds at these thought to be shoplifters. And the incidents in these cases, which are not there's nothing in your case that suggests the defendant was lying in wait to shoot at somebody or reflecting upon the shooting for a vast amount of time. Every one of the incidents involves matters that involve seconds in time. So I commented at the time, I don't see the similarity, and I don't see the similarity now. You have an incident where he's making comments about some alleged shoplifters versus crimes that involve instantaneous actions, whether premeditated murder or whether self-defense, that's for the jury to decide. But I don't see the similarity. I said it couldn't come in, and it isn't coming in, no matter what you think. Number two, I have to be concerned that with what Mr. Richards has said about the progress of the trial, and when you were I said you were over the line close to or over the line on commenting on the defendant's pretrial silence, which is a well-known rule.
Dude, this is patience, and I understand.
That would have been an issue. So I don't want to have another issue as long as this case continues. Is that clear? It is. Thank you. Ask the jury. I'm making this.
Okay, so the interesting thing about this is, just looking at the prosecutor, from what I've seen of this prosecutor, like of all the clips that I've seen, I am pretty sure that I don't know, man. This guy had to have been raised in an environment filled with beta males, and either his arrogance was able to just get him through whatever scenario he got himself into, or he just used it as a defense mechanism when he was backed into a corner, and he was so intimidating that everyone just kind of cowered and let him have his way. He breaks several laws rules in the court of law. If there's one place you don't want to break rules, it should be in a legal proceeding, maybe like a courtroom. And he decides to just do that and then act like he's fine. No, not even feigning ignorance. Oh, I didn't know that I'm not supposed to do that. He denied that he is bringing in the type of evidence that he's bringing in. And there's no apology. There's no yo, I'm sorry that I that this evidence is propensity or whatever. There's no oh, I didn't know it was propensity. I'm sorry. This won't happen again. Dude is smugly yeah, dude, this is gonna change your mind. People, I don't know. I think there's some people like my mother who are really, really bad at telling the difference between self-confidence and arrogance. But even I can tell right here, this is some straight up arrogance that this guy is putting on display. And this is a case of arrogance can only get you so far in life. You're gonna hit a roadblock where people are just gonna be hold up, boy, no, that ain't gonna fly. It is what it is.
Drew Hernandez is a journalist who covered the riots in Kenosha, Wisconsin last summer. Today, he testified in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. He said he saw Joseph Rosenbaum, the convicted child rapist, charging toward Kyle Rittenhouse, lunging toward him.
I must say this, as a righty, I don't like the arguments of the people going after Rittenhouse were pedophiles, because they were. And rapists and all sorts of things, but that's not really what they were doing. So that's not really relevant to the case. The case is about self-defense. So I think they should focus on that. It doesn't matter. It's not if these people weren't criminals, it would have been fine for them to run up and shoot him, because that's where logically those arguments will take you. Oh yeah, I'm glad that that pedophile didn't get this guy thrown in jail. Okay, so what if it's not a pedophile? It's dumb.
Drew Hernandez is a journalist.
Also, by the way, I'm totally out of my water. I put ice in here, but this is like a thermos, so it didn't melt. So I'm back on the Blackberry Ginger Ale, boys.
Journalist who covered the riots in Kenosha, Wisconsin last summer. Today, he testified in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. He said he saw Joseph Rosenbaum, the convicted child rapist, charging toward Kyle Rittenhouse, lunging toward him. Now, Hernandez, telling the truth about what he saw, is getting death threats from the left-wing militia that seem to control some of our cities. Drew Hernandez is the host of Drew Hernandez Live. He joins us now. Drew, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about the reaction. I think a lot of our viewers may have seen your testimony and have followed your reporting since the start. Tell us the reaction that you
I
got
didn't see his
to telling the
testimony,
truth in court.
Honestly.
Well,
But I followed this guy on
immediately
Instagram.
Started getting messages on social media, people telling me to kill myself because I quote unquote defended a murderer. Here's the thing, Tucker. People are accusing me of being biased. Even the prosecution was trying to paint this picture that I came in with some kind of bias. My only bias is one thing: the truth.
Okay, I'm gonna say that's a lie, dude. You have a podcast where you talk about your political opinions. He is biased. Now I will say this: the work that he does, like the footage that he goes out and takes, is not biased. You can't bias what happens. The only thing I think you can bias as a journalist is what you choose to show and whether or not you choose to tell the truth. Now, from what I've seen of Drew Hernandez, he's gone out and he's told the truth. I don't know how slanted he is just because I don't know what he's admitting, if he's admitting anything at all. Like, are there Proud Boys that are attacking people that he has footage of that he's hiding? I don't know. And I don't think it's a fair accusation to make. For people like Drew Hernandez, though, who their bread and butter is going out and doing journalism, and then they do commentary, you have to separate the two, right? So his journalism, it seems to be, at least from my perspective, to be unbiased, whereas his podcast clearly is. This is a biased man. This is a biased individual doing some what appears to be good journalism. That is something that can be done. Everyone is biased. Everyone has opinions. It's just a matter of how much you let that taint or tint your the work that you do when that's supposed to be neutral.
And that's what I was doing today in that courtroom. I wasn't there to give a political opinion. I wasn't there to put a spin on anything. I was there because I was an eyewitness. And I also have body cam footage of the entire night, which I submitted to the defense and to the prosecution.
See, someone biased probably would not do that. Because in a situation like that, for the entire night, you would have seen something that would go against the narrative you want to portray. But no.
State as a whole. I was not there at all to have any kind of opinion to be stated. I was there to do simply one thing, and that's to tell the truth.
That's a separation
because he who
of
speaks the
your
truth
journalistic
declares righteousness. And that is a lost art in the United States of America right now. And I knew I had to do the right thing so that the jury could know, the state could know, America could know, and that the world could know the truth.
Amen. I think that's the highest virtue. So in your impression as an eyewitness, this Rosenbaum, the convicted child rapist, I don't think we can say that enough.
Yeah, no, dude. Yes, you can. Stop, please.
Absolutely. Rosenbaum was attempting to push a burning dumpster into police vehicles that were occupied by police officers, human beings. And once someone put that dumpster out, he immediately started to get confrontational with people at a gas station.
I believe that's actually why he was being chased. I believe he kind of intervened in that situation, and Rosenbaum got back. That's what I recall. It's been like a good year or two since I've seen the footage.
Requesting to be shot by them. And after that skirmish took place, he retreated to the street, covered his face, began to burn trash cans in the middle of the street, and then 2 minutes later, he made his way to CarSource and began to charge Kyle Rittenhouse from behind.
This is what happens when kids are raised to just be allowed to throw tantrums whenever. I don't know. I'm not a fan of forcing people to stifle their emotions or whatever, especially as children. But at a certain point, you got to learn how to control yourself. And this is not something like an individual who's able to do that.
The rest is history.
Really quick, why do you think so many media luminaries are defending this guy, Rosenbaum?
I think because it fits some kind of narrative that they were trying to paint from the very beginning. They were trying to say that Kyle was an active shooter. They were trying to say he was a white supremacist. I can't speak to the
I ain't never seen a white supremacist shoot white people before. I'm just going to put that out there.
Actual...
unless they were trying to date a black dude or something, I don't know.
Intentions of why they're racist. I can't speak to the actual intentions of why they're doing this. All I can speak is the truth and what I saw and what I recorded and I documented. What people need to understand, for all of you, woke supremacists out there that live in woke world and clown world.
I like that term, woke
documented
supremacist.
this, that none of this today was my opinion. I watched this and I have it all on film and it was submitted. I just have to state that to the world because people are not getting it, Tucker.
The people who've seen your video understand exactly what you're saying. Many have. Drew Hernandez, I appreciate your coming on tonight.
Not even saying anything. It's literally just footage of what happened. That's not anyone saying anything. It's just, except for like who's in the video, of course. So yeah, no, I don't think there's any message there. Those clips were kind of interesting. It definitely, especially that first clip that I saw, really, that's that I think that's probably a big moment where the jury was like, "Yo, this is probably where we're gonna end up going with this as far as finding him not guilty." I think that's probably it. All right, now to this video here, which I believe went fairly viral. Yeah, it has 4.101 million views already. And it came out just earlier this month by the New York Times. Now, the New York Times is getting views. That's where you need to start paying attention. This is a longer video, but it's why liberal hypocrisy is fueling American inequality. I would be shocked if they did not say that the media needs to move farther left.
There's a question I've had for a very long time, and it has to do with this map. This is a map of the 18 states.
Oh, that map. I was like, that paper's blank, bro.
Where Democrats control the legislative and executive branches, or else have some veto-proof majority in the legislature. Democrats in D.C. often blame the GOP for foiling their progressive vision.
When middle-class families see their taxes go up, they'll know Republicans are to blame.
But if you zoom into these 18 states, there's effectively no Republicans standing in the way. So my question is, what do Democrats actually do when they have all the power?
Dude, what?
To answer this question,
this is gonna be so interesting.
Editorial board writer Binya Applebaum.
Okay, you got my attention.
He's been thinking about writing books about and reporting on this topic for decades.
What?
I think, Americans tend to view politics as a competition of us versus them.
Dude, I don't even know if the New York Times is going to give a real answer for this, but the fact that they're asking this question, bro, I'm glad this video went viral. This is a question that's so important for people to be asking. When the Democrats run everything and then things go wrong, how are you going to blame the Republicans?
And they tend to think that if they would just get out of the way, then we can do the things that we want to do. There is no them standing in the way. There's just the we of Democrats and their supporters, and they get to decide what policy should look like.
Now that's really simplistic, because the left, from what I see, is like split into two like very different sectors. You have like the more moderate type lefties, or like slightly left of center, who aren't like all radical, but they do want to make some changes, supporting abortion and wanting to advance that and things of that nature. But then you have other people who are like even farther left. You have like the progressives, they're kind of fringe, where they want like things like socialism or communism in the United States, and they really want to bolster the welfare state. So it's not as easy as just like, hey, we have all the power so we can do whatever we want.
In those states, and that is an opportunity.
I mean, that was proof when Kirsten, was it Kirsten? Whoever like the cinema lady was, who was holding up that one Democratic bill because she disagreed with stuff that was in it. The Democrat Party is not a monolith, and it's not fair to treat them as such.
And they get to decide what policy should look like in those states, and that is an opportunity for them to implement their vision.
For this story, I also delved into this giant document. It is the 2020 Democratic Party platform. If you want to really understand what Democrats say they want.
You know they're rich because they're spending tons and tons of money on just like paper they're not even going to use except for like visual effect.
Their vision is for America. It's found inside of this document. This document serves as a guide as we zoom into these states to answer this question.
That's cool. I didn't even know that political parties had official platforms. That's actually really cool.
Democrats really do when they have all the power.
Nearly 554,000 homeless people from the 25 wealthiest Americans.
Oh, yeah. So this is the
paying
thing.
Little in income taxes compared to their fortunes, sometimes nothing at all.
We cannot, in good faith, blame the Republican Party.
Well, there it is. That's kind of hinting at we need to have more policies, making rich people pay more money.
When House Democrats have a majority.
There's still very intense segregation happening in all kinds of forms all over this country.
Yeah, like when you enforce mask mandates to keep black people out of restaurants.
Okay, so let's start with California. To me, California is like the quintessential liberal state. From the state legislature to the whole executive branch.
But I don't want any part of quintessential liberalism then, except maybe like the cool music and pop culture stuff.
To most of the big cities, Dems hold majority control. So what do they do with all this power?
Looking at California, you have to look at housing.
Oh boy.
Okay, now wait, listen. When I hear the words housing policy, I tend to sort of doze off, but Binya insists that housing policy and what is happening in California is definitely worth looking at.
You cannot say that you are against inequality in America unless you are willing to have affordable housing built in your neighborhood.
And Democrats completely agree. Here in this document, the word housing is mentioned over 100 times.
The neighborhood where you're born has a huge influence on the rest.
So are they? What are they arguing? Well, I'd love to see how they want to say they want to fix this, because, housing is a largely private sector situation, unless the government uses eminent domain to come in and buy the land from private individuals. It's not like the government can, it's California, so I guess they could, but governments are not supposed to be able to just interfere in the pricing of products. At least not to my knowledge.
The rest of your life. Children who are born in neighborhoods with degraded environmental conditions, with a lack of access to high-quality public services, poor schools, poor public transit, are at a permanent disadvantage.
Also, another thing that happens too is when you lower the cost of a good, that usually lowers the quality. So having low income housing, it's better than homelessness, that's for sure, but it doesn't solve the issue of how do you get the people earning more money so at the end of the day they can move into better better housing. From what I see of California, this is just like a bird's eye view from me, conservative, not a newbie, dude, who streams. From what I see, you see a lot of regulations that really stifles, smaller businesses. Bigger businesses can keep up, but there are fewer of them. So what you have is, in general, at least from my perspective, from what I see, and I'm probably wrong about this, but in general, a lot of big companies in California, Alphabet, Microsoft, Facebook, all these other companies, I believe they're all in California because it's like Silicon Valley and whatnot. I think Apple's over there too. They have really high salaries, but they're not hiring everybody in that state. And since, California has a lot of people in them, and you can't rely on the big companies to hire the majority of your workers. You need small businesses. Small businesses run your economy. And it sounds like California is constantly doing things that is killing the small business.
And they even say verbatim, housing in America should be stable, accessible, safe, healthy, energy efficient, and above all, affordable.
Tents are energy efficient.
housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right.
The rent is going through the roof. Housing is a human right.
How does California do when it comes to housing?
You know where those signs are when you drive into a state, it says, "Welcome to California"? They might as well replace them with signs that say, "Keep out." Because in California, the cost of housing is so high that for many people, it's simply unaffordable. The state has simply, for the most part, stopped building housing. I mean, there are cranes, there's housing going up, but it has slowed down over time really, really sharply.
Well, I mean, carbon footprint, like, if you're a climate activist, you would think that that's good news because, you know, with every house, there's a carbon footprint. There's a lot of, electricity, maybe gas, a lot of things that are involved with just the operation of a home. Not to consider all the energy that's expended in running, getting the building built. Now, I'm not saying that it's a good thing that people aren't building houses in California. That's terrible. What I am saying is, from a liberal, left-wing, progressive perspective, there is some silver lining there.
And it is nowhere near sufficient to keep pace with California's population. And so what you have is not enough housing and too many people trying to get it. And the inevitable result is that prices have gone up, and away.
The median price of a home in San Diego County is now a staggering $830,000.
Dude, and I live in a like an upper income area, and housing, a lot of houses cost a lot of money, a lot more than they should. If you look at neighboring towns and stuff, the equivalent houses are like way cheaper. And I think our median housing is probably like 600,000 or so. Maybe you could get away with 500,000 or slightly less if you're like living by yourself. And this is an affluent area, like. So.
Are cities full of people who say that they are progressive, they're liberals. They believe in a more equal America, a more diverse America.
Well, if everybody's homeless, that's pretty equal, bro.
They show up to the marches, they put in the lawn signs about everyone being equal, but at the same time, they're actively fighting to keep their neighborhoods looking like this.
Dude!
Okay, wait,
savage!
That doesn't look so bad. It's
what
just
a
a
savage!
bunch of houses in a neighborhood, right? No, it turns out that this is actually the result of specific policies, intentional policies that keeps these neighborhoods spread out and full of single-family homes, as opposed to higher density buildings like duplexes or apartment complexes. This is a real, serious fight, and you can get a glimpse into it by looking at a zoning map.
Now, hold on. Aren't these like the same people who want like to say that like landlords can't kick people out if they can't, if like the people who are renting from them can't pay their rents? So should we really be surprised that these same people are having trouble getting people to build new apartments?
Yes, we're looking at a municipal zoning map of Palo Alto, California. Don't leave yet. This is really where it sinks in, so just stick around.
This stuff is really good,
everything
dude.
on this map that is yellow is zoned for single-family homes, like this and this. One family can live here. But here...
Dude! I don't know. I don't know how planning and zoning works, but that's terrible. If the government has the right to say, you can only build these types of houses here, and then... and then kind of basically like say you can barely build any like multifamily homes. Like that's more than half of that map. That's all single family. That's crazy.
Here in Palo Alto, there are a lot of new jobs. This is a desirable place to live for new opportunities. Over the past 8 years, the San Francisco area has added 676,000 jobs, but only 176,000 housing units. So a few years ago, the city council voted to change the zoning of one section of the city right here. Specifically this 2-acre plot of land. They wanted to change it from low-density housing to higher density housing. So that they could build...
it'll make an impact. But just looking at that map, like you look at this map filled with like so much yellow, and they're like, let's take like one spot. One
city right
spot.
Here. Specifically this 2-acre plot of land.
Dude, you guys are voting an absolute fools to run your local governments.
Change it from low-density housing to higher density housing so that they could build a 60-unit affordable housing complex for elderly members of the community. Okay, so they changed the zoning. Start building the 60-unit complex. No, the overwhelmingly liberal residents of Palo Alto decided to hold a vote to overturn the decision, to revert it back to low-density, single-family housing, back to yellow. And it passed, and the zoning was overturned. So now when you go to this plot of land, instead of an affordable housing complex for the elderly, what you're gonna see is this.
Dude, I wonder if he's gonna blame racism. That would be so surprising if the New York Times blamed racism for everything.
A row of just a few houses, all of them massive and worth around $5 million each.
I think people aren't living their values. You go to these meetings in these neighborhoods where they're talking about a new housing project, and it's always the same song, and it goes like this. I am very in favor of affordable housing. We need more of it in this community. However, I have some concerns about this project.
We have the hearts to do this, but we're doing it wrong, and we're dictating and harm onto the neighborhoods.
And then off we go with the concerns, and then nothing ever gets built.
This is happening all over California. And the result is that these neighborhoods are so expensive
Homeboy finna
that
blame
they
racism.
keep anyone out who isn't a part of this small group of super rich residents, many of whom bought their properties decades ago, and who spend their time fighting vigorously to keep the value of their real estate assets super high.
If you want to keep Palo Alto the kind of neighborhood and community that we all treasure, low intensity, low density, safe for kids to walk to school, you've got to vote against Measure D.
There's an aspect of sort
Why
of...
is all
Safe for
this...
kids to walk to school, we all
When
treasure.
was this measure signed?
Low intensity, low density, safe for kids to walk to school, you've got to vote against
Is
Measure
that-
D.
There's a
Maybe
an
I
aspect
totally
of sort
forgot
of-
what was
of
literally
greed
just
here
said,
and-
but
and
that
of,
footage looks
you know,
so old.
nervousness about actually sharing those opportunities.
Let's go to another liberal bastion up here in Washington State.
Now hold on.
Democratic.
Wait a minute. For all those people who were like, "Yo, let's make our community safer by keeping the values up," did they not notice that like what this led to was, excuse me, a bunch of homeless druggies, you know, pooping in the streets, literally, and into trash cans, and leaving their heroin needles all over the sidewalks, like. At some point, you have to recognize the impact of your actions.
Opportunities.
Let's go to another liberal bastion up here in Washington State. The Democratic Party talks about taxation, saying that our tax code has been, quote, rigged against the American people. Democrats all the time are decrying the fact that tax cuts are going to the wealthiest Americans.
It is time for a wealth tax in America.
Democrats believe in a progressive tax system where the rich pay a larger share of their income than the poor. This is like...
Hey. I think they already do this.
The most basic policy vision of like a progressive movement. It's front and center in Democrats' policy platform.
But if you go and look at Washington State, what you find is that in Washington State, if you look at the state and local taxes that people pay there, less affluent families pay a much larger share of their...
Wait a minute. You said who pays more taxes? 5% of a rich man's taxes are going to be more than 20% of a poor man's taxes. So let's say you look at this, right? Look at this chart.
State and local taxes.
Okay, 3% from the top 1%. If all those top 1% leave, that is devastating for that economy, for the Washington economy as far as the income of that state. So, yeah, no, the rich are paying like the majority of the tax. They're sorry. I'm really bad at wording here, but the rich does pay more than like pretty much everybody. Unless they're not paying taxes at all. At least that's what I would guess.
Less affluent families pay a much larger share of their income in taxes than the wealthiest residents of Washington State. So people like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, two of the state's most famous.
But that's
and wealthy
weird. I was
residents,
expecting like a progressive
are in
tax.
this lovely situation of of paying less in taxes as a share of their income
As a
than-
share of their
than
income,
the poor people
okay.
who live in that same state. And this is a fundamental inversion of the values that the Democratic Party professes. There is no state with a more regressive
that
system
about?
of taxation.
Why
than
are they doing
Washington
this?
State.
Someone needs
And
to
I'm
put
talking, like,
pressure on them.
the most regressive.
If like next time there's a local election, somebody just needs to like take that chart and show it, and Jay Inslee will lose, because that's the exact opposite kind of progressive tax that the Democrat Party wants. Now, I'm not a fan of progressive taxes personally, but from a merely political perspective, if you're gonna say you want progressive taxes that make the rich pay more in proportion to how much they makes the rich pay more in proportion to how much they make, then the poor, you gotta actually do that. You can't run on a platform that you don't implement.
I mean, Texas, which is like the conservative bastion of like anti-taxes, is more progressive than Washington State, liberal Washington State. How is that real? Oh, and guess what? Other states on our map also are in the top 10 of most regressive tax regimes, like Nevada and Illinois.
There have been some changes, particularly in recent years, but the overall situation remains resistant to change.
So I'm very concerned that at
By
this
the way,
time,
another thing I'll say too is, you know, each of these individual issues, when they're examining just one state, it's not like, the only cause of the issues in that state. So looking back at California, housing is not the only issue there, because let's look at this, right? Texas and Florida has economies that are way better than probably what you see in Washington or Nevada or Illinois, and still they're close on this tax inequality chart. So I know this isn't supposed to be a crazy in-depth video, but you can't blame all of the issues on each of these states on each issue that they're choosing to highlight in these states.
There have been some changes, particularly in recent years, but the overall situation remains resistant to change.
So I am very concerned that at this time, which is a very poor time to disincent people from creating jobs in Washington State, that we're considering it.
From that paycheck that you earn, more of that money is going to state government. And so the effect of that is basically to exacerbate inequality.
Okay, so rich liberals don't show up when it comes to housing or taxes. Another major theme in this policy document is education. And the wording in here I find quite interesting. The Democrats say, quote, "We must provide world-class education in every zip code to every child because education is a critical public good." They use this word zip code to represent the fact that in America, schools get their funding based on the real estate taxes of the houses within that school district. The more expensive the neighborhood, the more funding goes to the school. So over here in Illinois, which is like the quintessential liberal state, there's this one county that contains the city of Chicago. It's called Cook County. The residents here voted overwhelmingly for Democratic candidates in the presidential and senatorial elections last year. Often what would happen is that this would just be one big school district, and that all the taxes from all the towns in this county would be put into one bucket and distributed equally throughout the county. But the residents of this very blue Democratic county have actually decided to divide themselves into more than 140 school districts.
Ooh,
so now you have all these tiny school districts like this one, which are like gerrymandered around the richest part of town. And so all of the taxes from these rich homeowners go into one little bucket and then only get distributed to the schools within.
So you're mad that people only want their own money to go to their own kids' education, not other people's? If you're New York Times, of course you're for the redistribution of wealth, so I guess it makes sense. But you also can't be surprised that parents are like, no, I don't want my money going to some rando kid, like for paying for the education of some rando kid over there. Everyone needs to pay for their own education. Why is that surprising?
In this rich region of the county.
It can be on the same block that the town line runs through the middle of it. And if you live on one side of that line, you're consigned to an inferior education by virtue of the fact that you and your neighbors don't have as much money. And if you live on the other side, you're basically a member of a club that is sponsoring a private school, essentially, for the benefit of that small group of kids who are lucky enough to live.
Here's the thing. I think one thing that that this whole video is proving is that Democrat policies, okay, under Democrat policies and Republican policies, everyone is going to do what they think is in their best interest, no matter how that affects other people. The problem is that the options left for people to do that in these like more progressive states in societies and scenarios, what that does is it basically it's more harmful. The options are more harmful. So, for example, in a Democratic state, right, like this situation here, where people are like, okay, I only want my money going to, the school that my kid goes to, right? Well, kids are locked into schools based on zip code. In a Republican state, for example, this might not be as big of an issue because a Republican would argue for greater school choice, open things up for charter schools, maybe make things easier for private schools to exist. And then you have a situation where a parent is like, hey, my school district is bad. Hey, kid, go to the school district that's like right next to the one where we're at, where those parents are richer than us and paying for that school system, so it's better than what we have. Go over there. But instead, just locking people into like specific areas and limiting the choices they have for education, it causes issues like this.
In that affluent community. And the result is that poor communities have less money to educate their children, and rich communities have more money to educate their children.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's like how being poor and rich works. But adding school choice could allow the poor kids to get the same education as the rich kids just by letting them move around. This also incentivizes those poorer school districts to work harder to be good, so they don't keep losing kids from the school. Because there's no point running a school if all the kids are leaving.
This is crazy. It means basically that the kids who have the greatest needs have the fewest resources.
The same thing is happening in wealthy, liberal Connecticut.
Also, this dude is like a Lego minifigure hair.
Where the inequality in education opportunities is shameful, with some schools having huge budgets for their libraries and facilities, and others in the same state having to use duct tape to keep wind and snow out of their windows. Like, this is a real thing.
We need your help in a
Also, again, I think part of it is just like everything is so expensive in a lot of these states. If you cut down on regulations and stuff, I think that could really help, things like building repairs to be more affordable for a lot of these communities.
Establishing guidelines, procedures, and funding to address issues negatively impacting our students, like extreme temperatures, mold, lead exposure, and poor water and air quality.
So yeah.
Poor water quality, though, that's all up to the state, dude. Like, you can't blame, all these other factors for that. Like, states, if you run PSA, by the way, public service announcement for all you people running states, make the water good. like don't give poisoned water to your citizens. Like, that should be like, I don't know, local government 101.
Yeah, Binya tells me that the states could change this. They could actually just collect all the real estate taxes and then equally distribute them. But if you look at some of our liberal strongholds, that is exactly what they are not doing. Let me be clear about something.
Global warming.
In blue states, progress is being made, albeit slowly. For instance, a few weeks ago, California finally passed a law that gets rid of single-family zoning. It's a small step in the right direction, and in many cases, blue states provide more and better public services, and historically have given better chances to low-income families to climb the economic ladder. But for some of these foundational democratic values of housing equality, progressive taxation, and education equality, Democrats don't actually embody their values very well.
We're talking, once again, about a system that's been rigged.
Republicans today are to blame.
What we're talking about here is that blue states are the problem. Blue states are where the housing crisis is located. Blue states are where the disparities in education funding are the most dramatic. Blue states are the places where Tens of thousands of homeless people are living on the streets. Blue states are the places where economic inequality is increasing most quickly in this country. This is not a problem of not doing well enough. It is a situation where the blue states are the problem.
Affluent liberals tend to be really good at showing up to the marches and talking about how they love equality. They're really good at putting signs in their lawns saying that all are welcome here. But by their actions, what they're actually saying is, yes, we believe in these ideals, just not in my backyard.
We are not living our values. People who live in blue states, people who profess liberal values, you need to look in the mirror. And
Dude, I'm
need
surprised
to
they haven't blamed
that
racism
they are
yet.
not taking the actions that are consistent with those values, not just incidentally, not just in small areas, but that some of the most important policy choices. We are denying people the opportunity.
Hold up. Does he have a thing in the background that says the Arbory Trace? What does that even mean? What is that? Oh, this is not saying like the Arbory. No, it looks like it says Arbory Trace. Is that what it says? Oh, Asbury Trace. I was about to say, like Arbory Trace sounds weird, dude.
Policy choices. We are denying people the opportunity to prosper and to thrive and to build better lives, and it is happening in places where Democrats control the levers of policy.
Wow! And he didn't even blame racism. Dude. Wow. That was an unironically good video. Dude, wow. More people need to watch this. And I'm not saying that I support all these changes, but I think people deserve to know that the changes that the policies themselves that they're perpetuating are like directly doing the exact opposite of what they want them to do. A lot of people focus on big picture rhetoric when you zoom in, whew, things are ugly. Things are ugly. And the people need to know that they're voting for the exact opposite of what they say they want. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we got this video by Song Psych called "The Grammys Are Stupid." Actually, I believe this is the same person who said, "Why is Levitating" by Dua Lipa so good?" So this should be interesting. I feel like I'll enjoy this take.
The Grammys are so freaking weird. And they're dumb, and I hate them. They smell like a pair of green onions that you kept in the drawer for too long.
I wonder if this is going to be because of like things being rigged or just because the concept of awards in general is dumb. It'll be really interesting to see what she tackles here.
On top of the meat from the freezer that you put in the fridge that you forgot about 2 weeks ago. It's in the fridge now. And this isn't a new phenomenon. The Grammys have been making dumb decisions for as long as I can remember. It's so bad that some artists actually refuse to have their music submitted to the Grammys, like The Weeknd.
Oh yeah, The Weeknd, yeah.
Ocean. And Adele even broke her Grammy award in half a few years ago. Why are the Grammys weird, you may ask? Well, I'll tell ya. Let's start off with
this is what happens when you have human beings pick the music arbitrarily rather than, using more I don't know, more empirical methods.
Most recent decisions.
It's all about what music certain people like and want to give awards to. At least that's my opinion.
An Exhibit A. Casey Musgraves' Star-Crossed not eligible for Best Country Album. Instead, it'll be in the pop category. But she'd won this category twice before with her previous albums. And some think that Casey was put in the pop category because of that, so that other people in the country category would have a fair shot. Because if Starcrossed was in the country category, chances are she probably would have taken home the Grammy. Starcrossed isn't as country
I don't know anything
as
about country.
Casey's other albums. Yeah, sure, whatever. We can say that. But it's not completely not country. It definitely incorporates country influence and it incorporates pop influence. It blends them. It's just pushing the boundaries of country rather than leaving.
I don't know. That's like being mad that a hyperpop album was forced to be in the pop category. It's a mixture of genres. If it's a mixture of pop and country, is it bad to say that it has to be pop? Because it's no more bad to say that it has to be country.
The genre altogether, in my opinion. And this isn't the only artist this year who's been screwed over by the Grammys. Let me tell you. Let's get to who else? Bo Burnham. Inside, not eligible for Best Comedy Album. As if it wasn't #1 in the comedy charts for 18 weeks. Yeah, okay, maybe it's in the Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media category because it was music made for a Netflix special instead of audio-only purposes.
Then it should have won that.
It's definitely comedy still. I don't understand why an album can only be put in one category in general, like why it can only be assigned one genre in the Grammy stratosphere. And if the concern is that an album is put into all these different genres and then it like takes all the awards for all the different genres, okay, don't let it. I don't know, at least give people...
That's a bad argument. Because let's say that like, I don't know, somebody makes an album and has songs from every single genre and they're all so good that they win like all the nominations that they got. Like, let's say those songs are legitimately like the best songs of each of those genres in that album. Are you going to say, no, your music is actually the best, but you're not allowed to get the award because you won too many awards? And that's bad for some reason.
The correct nominations, at least give credit where credit is due. And this brings us to Exhibit C of the Grammys being run by old senile sacks of shit. They kind of do this every year. A few years ago, Igor by Tyler, the Creator, won Best Rap Album. Okay, great. Tyler won a Grammy. That's awesome. He deserves an award. He's super talented. But Igor blends a bunch of elements from a bunch of different genres. Like, yeah, there's some rap in it, but there's also some funk, R&B, neo-soul. When Tyler dropped the album, he even made an
But didn't you say that it can only be submitted to one category? So...
Instagram post that explicitly said, don't go into this expecting a rap album. Tyler even criticized the Grammys for this after he won the award in an interview. Roll the clip.
It sucks that whenever we, and I mean guys that look like me, do anything that's genre bending or that's anything, they always put it in a rap or urban category. And I don't like that urban word. It's just a politically correct way to say the N-word to me. When I hear that, I'm just like, why can't we just be in pop?
Why are the Grammys so quick to change Casey's genre to pop, but keep Tyler, the Creator, in rap? Now let's circle back to The Weeknd. You're probably wondering, why doesn't The Weeknd submit his music to the Grammys? His album After Hours was the first album since Drake's Scorpion to spend 4 weeks in a row at the top of the Billboard 200. And Blinding Lights, one of the singles from this album, was massive, like huge viral sensation. And before this, The Weeknd had been nominated 10 times but has only taken home 3 trophies. But he's never been included in any of the major Grammy categories like Album of the Year, Song of the Year, Best New Artist, that kind of stuff. The majority of his nominations were in the urban, rap, and R&B categories. And despite the level of success of After Hours, The Weeknd was not included once in that year's list of nominees. And this was also a bit of a genre-bending moment for The Weeknd. It still has R&B influence.
Yeah, it's hard to pin down. Even if you just want to look at the song like Blinding Lights, like, I mean, is it pop or is it like retro dance? Maybe just put it wherever Future Nostalgia ended up.
Heavy synth pop elements. And this includes elements of pop by Grammy's logic. Shouldn't this be included in the pop category? Like, at least put Blinding Lights in the running for Best Pop Solo Performance. Come on. But Devin, who were the nominees in the pop category that year? Well, let's go through the list. Best Pop Vocal Album. Nominees are Changes by Justin Bieber, Chromatica by Lady Gaga, Future Nostalgia by Dua.
Wait a minute. Wasn't After Hours more pop than Future Nostalgia? Because that was just like a retro dance album. That's so weird.
Dua Lipa. Fine Line by Harry Styles. Folklore by Taylor Swift. Are we noticing a pattern here? Best Pop Solo
Also, doesn't Justin Bieber basically just do like R&B now?
Performance. Let's go through them. Yummy by Justin Bieber. Say So by Doja Cat. Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish. Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa.
I don't know if you can say this as a rap thing. Say So. Yeah, also, look. Yummy is an R&B song, and Say So is a rap song. Also, Don't Start Now is a what? Is this pop? Are you sure she said pop?
Are we noticing a pattern here?
This
Best
is so
Pop Solo
weird.
Performance. Let's go through.
These are popular, yes, but the genre-wise, half of these songs aren't even pop.
Through 'em. Yummy by Justin Bieber. Say So by Doja Cat. Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish. Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa. Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles. Cardigan by Taylor Swift. Doja Cat is the only black person nominated for anything pop, and she didn't even win.
Wait,
Harry
Doja
Styles
Cat's
won.
black?
Let's go back even farther. Here's a quote from an NPR article. In the last 10 years, there have been 17 non-white artists nominated for the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. Of those 17,
Yeah, sure. It's all about
the only
race.
winner was Herbie Hancock in 2008, and his album was a collection of covers of songs by the white folk artist Joni Mitchell.
I guess
Black
she's
artists
white.
just continue to get shoveled into the R&B and rap categories. They used to even have an urban category at the Grammys that they
she's black.
recently disbanded in 2020. It took them that long. And yeah, even though there's more representation for black artists in the rap and R&B categories, there's still a lot of bullshit. Like Macklemore winning over Good Kid, Mad City, and Yeezus. Macklemore. What? And Eminem has taken home 15 Grammys. 15. Poop-eat, ooze-fecal Eminem talking about murdering women Eminem. Watch who you're talking to, like Apple wristwear Eminem. He
Dude,
won
shut
15.
up. Eminem is a goat.
Why did Recovery win anything? Are we listening to the same album?
Wait, Recovery won something? What did Recovery win? I mean, hold on. Didn't Recovery have like that like insanely awesome song that like people still listen to now, even though it's like basically like a 10-year-old album? Yeah, it came out in 2010, dude. Hold on. Certification sales. Where on here can I find? I'm just gonna Google this. What? Okay, now y'all got me mad. You got me mad saying that Eminem did not deserve. Eminem didn't deserve to win Grammys, dude. And this is the one that had the song with Rihanna on it. Like, hold on. Let me see here. So one best rap album, that's it? As opposed, yeah, Rihanna was huge for that. That's interesting. I don't understand why you'd be mad that Relapse won it unless you're like a feminist, which I suppose maybe she's a feminist.
Time of making this video, the full list of nominees for the 2021 Grammys have not been announced, so we'll see, I guess. Maybe got some better people for that secret committee. Grammys are lame anyway. We need a new award show called the Moms 2021. And
No,
this year,
just call it like Spotify Wrapped.
Year's Mommy Award goes to
all the black artists I know to show that I'm a white person, but I'm not racist.
this bag of shit. Thanks for the mommy. Sorry. Mommy, sorry. Mommy. Sorry, mommy, sorry, mommy. Mommy? Sorry, mommy. This was a stupid idea. What a dumb bit.
I mean, fair. I don't know. I don't think that it's hard. I don't know that it's all due to race, but it does seem like, you know, maybe race does have a component in it. I don't know if that's like literally the reason why, but I will say that pop thing was really weird. You had half of those songs that weren't even pop on there. You had a dance album win the pop category when it wasn't even pop, it was dance. Maybe I'm too sensitive for subgenres, but that just does not, that's so weird. They need to work on their categorization. That did not make any sense. I mean, thanks Song Psych for bringing that up, because otherwise I would never have known how strange their nominations are for some of these categories. I don't know if it's all racism though, but yeah, that's interesting, and I think the Grammys should work on it. But also, we give too much power to the Grammys. Who cares? Some rich people out in the Hollywood Hills, you know, think that certain albums are nice. That's cool. We can listen to like as much music as we want, right? You know, why don't we let I don't know, the Melonhead, whatever his name is, you know, tell us what the best rap album of the year is. Why don't we just check out our Spotify Wraps? One thing I think would be nice is if Spotify brought back the feature where you could see the charts of music that all your friends were listening to, like either daily or weekly or whatever, and then make a Spotify Wrapped of all of the people that you follow on Spotify. Like, that would be way cooler. Because then you kind of get an aggregate of this is not just my own charts, but these are the charts of like other people, but they're people that I know that are relevant to me, not random anonymous like rich people from California. So, yeah, just replace these like music awards with like your own thingies. Nobody cares. It's just arbitrary and dumb. Let me take a look here and see how many more videos I have. I think I'm gonna review all these music videos. I'm gonna skip this one. I don't think I have time to go over it right now, but I'm gonna watch these music videos and then I'm gonna call it quits. I'm noticing it's already 1 a.m. I need to go to sleep. So here, this is Greek's music video. This is made by a friend of mine too. Nate McClain. I have no idea what this is or what it's about. I just know, I think he shot it. He's like he does cinematography stuff, so. Dude, this is good. What? It's kind of cheesy though, but it's really fun and really well shot. I kind of want to DJ with this song now. Show me where the Greeks at. What is this? What? Cinematography is definitely better than the dancing. What is this? The choreography seems nice too. It's not too complicated, but it's interesting. Also, the blending of like the lyrics and the theme for the music video is really well done. I will say this is one of the strangest themes I've seen for the EDM music video. Well, no, that's not fair. It's not fair. I've seen some strange music videos by the Chainsmokers. I mean, one thing a lot of music videos do sometimes is like it doesn't even really match the music. It's just totally random. But this is not like. Okay, that was nice. Honestly, I'm gonna say that Beulah Beach theme music. I have no idea what that is, but that's a fun video though. Like, dude, I didn't know they knew how to make music videos this good. I might have to hire this man. Okay, I have no idea what this is. Sarah Brand, American Gap Rap. I have no idea what this is. Wait, is this by the same person who made that like really bad song in the church? That was just like so bad. Also, it kind of sounds like is this produced by Dylan Brady? Like that's no, that's not bad because I love like Dylan Brady stuff, but that 808 just sounds like straight out from like something Dylan Brady would use.
The rich get rich and the poor get poor, and baby that's America's ongoing score. Millions for a poster, billions for an ad, but pennies for the children gone to bed sad. Should I get up and go right to school? Maybe getting spots so there's real rule. Or should I get up and work at the store? Yep. Maybe getting paid enough to be sure. Walking by one on the street with a sign. He didn't try a job, says that we couldn't lie. Tax cuts voted for cousin big guy.
This video's not bad, but it's weird. Dude, this music video is way better than another one. She doesn't know how to use syllables. Like, I feel like a lot of times she's trying to stuff syllables into places where they don't fit musically. It just sounds, it makes it sound janky. Cause like the beat's good, and her voice isn't bad on this either. Like, so on paper this should work, but just the writing's bad. And other times it's not even that she's like stuffing it with syllables. It's just they're mismatched. Like she's not on beat when she should be. This is so unfortunate. Also, why does he keep getting the torch? I'm so confused. What was that sequence? What was that musical sequence? Singing your tunes of helping the poor, all voting to expand the shareholders' door. I have no idea what that was. I think some of this stuff looks kind of ridiculous, but the lighting and like directing is pretty good, and like cinematography. She should have gone with the same setting, but like a little bit smaller concept, and that would have been a lot more impressive. It's also not clear what that torch represents, I don't think. Okay, that's cool. I like this. Like it doesn't make sense, but I think it's cool. do a key change without? Did she actually change the like? Did she vocally change the key without the ridiculous key? And see, this was her problem in the other song. She is tone deaf. She's a tone deaf musical artist, is what she is. Cause, like, I can hear that there's some sort of key change in the instrumental, but she's clearly not on that key. It's almost like she wanted to make a good song, but then she was like, I know I'm not gonna get the same amount of clicks if it's good. So let me make a bad part of it. Okay, it's like a hyper pop. Oh no! They turned off auto-tune! No! Her voice is so bad. I hope nobody asked her to give him the raw vocals.
America.
What did I just watch? This is so bad. Like, the ending, like, you can forgive a lot of things if they land the ending. This did not land the ending. The concept is weird and half-baked. I'm passing around the plastic torch for some reason. I wonder why. What? None of this makes sense, man. Is there anything in order of this? Oh, there is, actually. I think I'm done looking at this music video. Next music video. Andy Mineo and Lecrae, been about it. Now, people have told me about this music video because apparently in this music video, they imitate a lot of, like, rap album covers. So, I think this is the one where they do that. So, it should be interesting.
I'm a young man, getting what I came for. Cause I work hard, I got everything I prayed for. Money came fast, so now I take my day slow. Me and Craig, just like MJG and A-Ball. Talk that talk, I just bought the
That's MF Doom, I think.
On a weekday. Baby, why would I cheat? You my cheat day. You a treat, that's right. You a snack.
I don't know what this
Fighting
is.
with your jeans, cause you got it like that. Well, okay, tell me what y'all feel. Now I'm great, cause I remember when I ain't have a way on a date, only had enough to pay for matinee. Now I'm straight, every morning feeling like a Saturday. Well, they doing nothing, got a lot to say.
This is really creative,
you
dude.
never had COVID, you still got no taste. Saw a girl I used to date, she pretend.
Hey, it's Eminem!
She like,
That album was pretty good, by the way.
Tell me where you been, huh? Been about it. Hey,
I don't know what this one is.
me, man, it's getting crowded.
Also, all this stuff is really well shot. And this is the most well shot. I think this is the best shot Reach Records music video I've ever seen.
Always kept it solid. You know I always kept it solid. Riding through the city in the place
I forget what that is. I feel like I've seen it before.
Never cause trouble when we out in the streets,
I don't know what this
but
is.
then that's the sound of the police. I was shook. He was shook, but I kept it cool.
Hold on. I want to see who shot this, because this is so clean. Video directed by Nathan Corona for Dust Brand Films. I never heard of that before, but they should hire him again.
Told her just to say he dug the tunes. Then he let me off with a warning. We was on our way.
I don't know what this is.
45 in a 50 till I hit the highway. Been about it. Glory to the Father. I don't do
That's Lil Wayne, I think.
For the weekend. Now I'm back to beef and broccoli. Sipping sake. Practice wabi sabi. I
I don't know what that is. Maybe is that DMC or DMX? It looks like something DMX would have done, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
When we walk inside the party, they like, OMG, know it's been a minute. Tell me where you been, huh? Been about it. Hey, back up off me, man, it's getting crowded. Hey, when I'm in Cali, got it.
I feel bad that I don't know half of these album covers, but I don't really listen to like non-Christian rap, so. Wait, did he pop his pecs? Oh no, he tried to, but that didn't really work. Did he? I guess he did. Not Terry Crews level popping pecs though.
You know I always kept it solid.
Now you know what we're gonna see next is Brian Trejo making the same thing, but like copying the album covers of Christian albums. Oh, wait, it's got the list of all of them. Let's see. That's nice. Special thanks to the image makers and designers who've contributed to the history of hip-hop art that continues to inspire generations of artists. Dr. Dre, The Chronic, okay. Wu-Tang, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. MF Doom, I can't read that. De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rainy, whatever. Kanye West, The College Dropout, yep. The Fugees or something, The Score. Big Pun, Capital Punishment. Eminem at the Eminem Show. Jay-Z, the Black Album. Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, I believe. Outkast. Run DMC. Tupac. DMX, yep, DMX. I got that one right, I guess. NWA. Lil Wayne, I got that one right too. I wasn't sure about that one. And 50 Cent. So some older stuff than I expected, but that's cool. Very nice. Also, of course, they killed that song. I think that song was maybe the best like hard rap song on the album. So, but that's just my opinion. All right, the last video that we have to go through tonight. Whew, man, I'm staying up way too late. This is terrible. Is So Tired by KB. Now, this song is insane. I've had this on repeat like for 2 weeks. And this is these visuals are clean. The colors and how they complement the color of the text and the overlay is so cool. Dude, where did he shoot this?
I'm in the trenches, don't mind in the mentions, my mind on the vision, your mind on the digits. It is what it is, and look, we not the same. I wanna die with no time in my pocket, and not cause I lost it, I gave it away. You want a purpose that you cannot purchase, the perks and the Birkins, look, we can play. Behind the curtain, come look at this circus, the big.
Also, one thing I noticed that he does is in a lot of his music videos is he wears his own merch, which is really cool. His merch is so good. He does not need to wear nobody else's clothes. All he needs to do now is just like make his own shoes, and he's set. Like he's set.
Clown, the bigger they pay. Hey, hey, hey. I can't stop. Dudes take two, but I choose new boo every Tuesday. New Jimmy choose food in the booze, Lupe. You gotta choose who finna bring you change. When the whoop whoop fades, I'm getting you safe. He rolls to the Bluetooth, speaking bouquet. True thing, both through the track. What are you saying?
Dude, if the rest of the music video is like this, that'd be perfect.
Plugged in and don't.
Oh no, this is sad. Is this only his part? Because both Bizzle and Zalarina absolutely killed their verses. Especially Zalarina. And I love how Bizzle adapted to the beat because it's not his style of beat that he usually raps on. But yeah, I guess that they weren't available to shoot the music video, it makes sense. But it's just a little bit disappointing because I really like their parts of the album, of the song too.
HGA on these 808s, light up the gram and don't blaze no A. Ball hard when I post his name. Full play, I just say my grace. I bleed, but this ain't gon' break. Got one clip, cameras on my game. You're not free, you're a slave. West side, east side, red light, green light. That's right, be right on my soul. That's my D like, we fight. I'm just in my zone. Devil teaser showing where your people going when it all falls.
You know, it'd be cool if he got like a bunch of other rappers to do like a massive cypher.
We gotta go A, but it's living within this Guinness record don't break. If I'm in it, I'm independent. I'm in it, you get offended, I get it, but nobody finna tell me what to say. Rather be canceled than handled. I got a Lord and it ain't your name. Man, I've been rapping since 2006. That's to the grave, and this what it is. HGA, for my dogs, HGA, they're my dogs, they're my dogs. GOM, they're my dogs.
Dude, that's fire. That's fire. Who? I don't know who. Oh, that's really interesting. That Quentin Coblentz has a songwriting credit on this. Quentin Coblentz, dude, is so good, so underrated. I'm kind of upset that more people don't know who Quentin Coblentz is, but part of it is that he kind of buries his name under a bunch of aliases. But he's a moving force. I think people need to pay more attention to him because he makes some of the best Christian music in Christian music today. But nobody's paying attention because it doesn't sound like what you hear on like K-Love. But dude, this is good. This is good. And this is like, okay, you want to compare this to the music video that we saw before, American Gap Rap? We're just like, there's so much going on. There's like a lot of random things. So many things are happening that is clearly like whoever is like, directing everything is having trouble making everything make sense. This is a simple video that like, it gets across everything that like, needs to, be shown. Really? He's just rapping and enjoying the song, right? Like, if Sarah Brand wanted to, she could have shot a video this good. Probably. But she didn't. And that's where concepts and ideas beat money. You can have all the money in the world and hire as many people as you want. Maybe Sarah Brand spent less money than KB just because I think KB used a higher quality camera and probably had a more expensive set. But you can achieve a similar look, like in your like I could probably achieve a similar look in my basement. Maybe ignoring like the microphone and like those little white box things. Cinematography wise and directing, you could make a video very similar to this very easily. But just, you have to put thought into it. You have to know exactly what you want. Like, I bet a lot of thought went into these colors. And it looks so good. But anyways. Yeah, great video. Now, I think I accidentally skipped over this one. Before I go, I need to watch this video real quick. This is Lecrae and 1K Few, their song Wilden, which I have not heard the song. So this is like other than the Sarah Brand video, this is the first song on the music video on the stream that I actually have not heard the song to yet.
What's up, man? Come here.
They say there's no church in a while, but we've been wildin'. Been on top for a while and let my crowd in.
That horse is an interesting choice.
Fresh like every day Easter, think I got a style in.
Also, so is the black and white.
Get right, me my mama the proudest. Feel it in my body. Can't nobody stop it.
Okay.
Dripping like fluid. Let my life shine like jewelry.
I like this flow from Lecrae. I think this is the first time I've seen Lecrae use an unorthodox flow. Dude's been more consistent with his flow than like DaBaby for like the past like 5 years. It's nice to see him switch things up.
Let my life shine like jewelry. Gotta stay humble. Give it up. World is jungle. Give it up. You ain't gotta stand and tell the secrets. Bought the whip and now you got the beat slip. Play the beat, he ate it up like a deep dish. Hammer time, that's to put him on the reach list. Sliding on the beat by Metro. Y'all's probably riding on the Metro. We in London where they call the gas petrol. Sign a record deal and hit the road, let's go. 20,000 in the crowd on stages. Birthday bash in Atlanta was amazing. Went to Diddy house with me, that's a day trip. They ain't know you really living in the Matrix.
Ha! Oh no. That's pain. That's pain. I've been there, bro.
I told the young lion go eat. Follow the shepherd, watch out for the beast. They say there's no church in a while, but we've been wildin'. We've been on top for a while and let my crowd in.
Okay, so are they saying no church in the wild? I think all of like the teasers and stuff that got leaked said no church in a while, like WHILE, but it looks like they're saying wildin', so.
Fresh like every day Easter,
Or no church in the wild. I guess.
Fresh like everyday Easter, think I got a stylist. Had to shake back, get right, make my mama the proudest. Feel it in my body.
Yo, that's cool. They got the guy playing the flute in the video.
Can't nobody stop it. Dripping like fluid. Let my light shine like jewelry. Gotta stay humble. Give it up, give it up. World is a jungle. Give it up, give it up. I just came in with the Billy Goat Gruff. When you bridging the gap, it got trolls on. When they threw them stones at them, heroes on.
Dude, I'm so glad we're getting more 1K Few. Like, his voice has been one that's like been missing in CHH for way too long, and it's only been like a year or two, I think. But this is what happens when like your label shelves you. You know, I guess you don't hear from him much. But here's one thing, okay? Okay, I know it sounds like a shot that I took. It's kind of because it's true. I think Reach will like look for like different artists that they think will give them longevity, and I think they found some artists that just like they didn't really see too much stable long-term future with, and I think unfortunately like Aha, Gazelle, and 1K Few were artists who were like that. They just didn't really speak to the audience that Reach Records wanted to speak to, and at least maybe I'm wrong. I don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes, but it seems to me that like 1K Few got shelved because like right now it seems like the up and coming Reach Records artists are like, and they looked and finally found them. It's Wande and Holvey. Like they seem to be like the two like leaders of like the new Lecrae and Andy Mineo of the label as far as like the most popular members. Now, you know, I think What Up RG, Reach Records intended for What Up RG to like really like take up the mantle, but from what I hear, a mixture of the album getting stolen and also What Up RG kind of being a perfectionist and really, really wanting this album to be spectacular have kind of kept him from producing the amount of content that I think Reach Records wanted him to make. But yeah, I wish Reach Records focused more on their own artists. They try to do a lot of things with features and stuff. Like 116 doesn't even exist anymore. They just use that as an excuse to get the rights to songs by indie artists that are like really good but underrated.
See, you treat religion like X's and O's. Y'all playing tic-tac.
But I feel like that's a video for another day.
I still worry about gold. Cradle with platinum. They say there's no church in a while, but we've been wildin'. We've been on top.
Are you supposed to ride a horse on the road? I thought, isn't it like hard on the, or maybe with horseshoes it's fine. I don't know.
For a while and let my crowd in.
But it's not. You usually don't see people ride horses on roads.
Fresh like everyday Easter, think I got a stylist. Had to shake back, get right, be my mama the proudest. Feel it in my body, can't nobody stop it. Dripping like fluid, let my light shine like jewelry. Gotta stay humble. Give it up, give it up. World is a jungle. Give it up, give it up.
Dude, I love that guitar sample. But dude, okay, I really like that. That was a simple idea, okay? Like, well, not too simple. I mean, the horse is like, I don't think that's simple. But yeah, that kind of simplish idea. But then, like, how they did it, you know, again, they had to put a lot of effort and thought into that. And so many of those shots are really interesting. Like the upside down shot of like the shopping cart, you know, the idea of even having a horse in there. How they did just so many choices that they did. Like I really like that music video. I'm impressed with the music videos that I saw. Christian rap videos have come a long way from like when I used to watch them a lot more consistently. This has been a pleasure to watch. There is like nothing to roast in these. I guess that's a weird way to give praise, but I mean that was solid. Yeah, great videos tonight. Well, anyways, I'm gonna have to wrap things up. I need to do things tomorrow. We have some Black Friday shopping to do. I don't know if I'll live stream that. It's something I would like to live stream, but I don't know if it'll work out logistically. I also have to figure out how to do that without spoiling the presents that are going to be going to my siblings. So we'll see how that all works out. But in the meantime, thank you guys for watching this stream. I think I ran this a little bit longer than usual. I think I hit like 2 hours. But it was fun reacting to these videos. I hope you guys enjoyed my reactions. I'll see you guys next time. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for the next stream. If I'm going to be continuing to do reactions or playing Minecraft or Assault Cube or something. I know I wanted to take a crack at Cube 2 Sour Bratten again as well. So, yeah. I'll let you guys know, though, when I make up my mind. In the meantime, thank you guys. Thank you guys for, like, really, dude. I'm really botching this outro. But seriously. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys watching. See y'all.